Hey, it's Brian from Aussie Gardener. This is the most important video for you to watch regarding how to use the power planters. I don't want you to skip over this. Please stick with me till the end because it's very important. There are a few safety concerns, but there are also some tips I'm going to give you that's going to give you the best result when digging hard ground. Okay, so first of all, you're going to need to attach it to a cordless drill. Don't use a 240 volt corded drill. Why? Because they tend to spin too fast and they also tend to overheat. You burn the motor out. And there's also no protection from your wrists from twisting. So stick with an 18 volt or a 20 volt cordless drill is the way to do it. Now the ones I like to use is DeWalt. I've found that their drills are really tough. I've been using this for several years for digging and it hasn't missed a beat. Now with all drills, the safety directions will tell you that you need to put on your safety glasses before using the drill. It will also say that you should remove the battery from your drill before attaching the power planter to it. And it also says to read the instruction manual of your drill. So I've got that out of the way. Important things to say. So let's have a look now. Now I've got a power planter here. This is a 312 power planter and I've purposefully chosen to use a really bright orange one so you can see exactly what I'm doing in the video. So we're going to put that into the drill. So we've taken the battery off, we've opened the chuck, and this is the chuck, the front end of the drill. So you just turn that until it's open enough that you can put the power planter into the end of it, just like this. And then start to tighten it up. Now when it's tight, it should feel nice and firm inside that actual chuck there. So we're going to tighten it some more, and we've got to really tighten it as much as we can all the way until it won't go any further. And when you're using the power planter, it's important that you frequently check that this is still tight. Now with some of the cheaper drills, the chucks aren't as strong and so they can tend to loosen up with vibration and your power planter can start to fall out. The problem with that is if you keep using it, it will gradually start to wear down the end of the power planter, which is a hex shape, and you'll just have a rounded end and it won't be able to grip. And unfortunately that's not covered by warranty. So just take care to always be checking that you've tightened the chuck up. All right, so we're going to put the battery back onto the drill now. Now, when we're using a battery, it's a good idea to have a battery that has high amp hours. So what that means is it'll run for longer. So if you have a battery that's say a 2 amp hour battery, that might run for say 15 minutes, whereas a 5 amp hour battery might run for 30 minutes. And so you generally want to have higher amp hour batteries so that you're going to be able to get to do more digging. Now the kits that we sell with the drills usually come with a 5 or somewhere around that 6 amp hour battery, so that's plenty of digging. You can always swap over to the other one as well. Now this particular drill has a side handle. I highly recommend using a drill with a side handle. It's not essential, you can still use a power planter without it and I'll explain how, but it is a lot more balanced and comfortable to be digging when you've got a side handle on the drill. So if you can, get one with a side handle. Now this is the important part with the drill settings. Let's have a look at this. So on the top of your drill, there will be a switch up here, which is for the speed of the drill. Now on this particular drill, it has 1, 2, and 3. And the 1 refers to the slowest speed, 3 being the highest speed. On some drills, it'll just say 1 and 2, and others it'll say low and high, but that is the speed of the drill. You must always have it on the lowest speed. It's very important. The power planters are designed to work on low speed under constant load. And you'll find that they dig so much better. If you have it on high speed, it'll just spin on the surface and it won't be able to bite into the soil. The next thing you need to look at is the clutch. And the clutch is this dial that goes around the drill here at the front. And if we have a look on there, we can see that there's numbers on the clutch. Now the way a clutch works is relating to when you're putting screws into say a wall. If you were screwing into a soft wall surface like gyprock or plasterboard, you would put it onto a very low setting because you don't want the screw to go in too far. You want it to go in a bit, and then as soon as it meets some resistance, you want it to stop turning, otherwise the screw will just go straight through the gyprock that's very soft. But if you are screwing into something like hardwood, you need to have a lot more pressure, or what they call torque, to be able to drive the screw further into that timber. So what we're doing with the power planter is we're using that function, that screwdriver function, in order to actually control the amount of torque that the power planter has, and also to protect your wrists when you're digging. So what we should always do is make sure that we start on the screwdriver setting. So that's the numbers here, and we're going to turn it down to the lowest number to start with. And this will be a good demonstration of how the clutch works when I demonstrate in a moment. The lower the number, the faster that it will stop as soon as you hit resistance. The higher the number, you'll be able to dig for more before it will stop. Why is the stop important? Is if you are digging ground and it has tree roots or rocks in it, that can jar your wrists. And so by using it on the screwdriver setting and using the clutch, it will instantly stop the motor and you won't get any kickback in your arms. And that's what makes it safe for all ages above 18 to be able to use the power planter. So I'm going to put my safety glasses on. Now, in reality, when you're using the power planter on slow speed, you don't get rocks generally flying out, all right? But the safety glasses are in reference because that's what it says to do in the drill's manual. So we have it on slow speed, and I'm going to show you how that works. Now you can see it stops straight away. So as soon as it met the slightest bit of resistance, it stopped the motor, and you can see it didn't twist my wrists at all. Now obviously, for me to be digging at level 1 on the clutch is not going to work. I'm not going to be able to do anything unless I'm digging just very soft soil. So we're going to have to increase it a bit. So the idea to do this safely is you gradually increase it until you get to the level that matches your arm strength. So we're going to just increase it a bit more. You can see it dug a bit more before it stopped. And so, yep, that's still stopping. It's not high enough for me, so I'm going to go a bit higher. And now it's stopping it a bit further down. If you get it stuck anywhere, you just put the drill in reverse and you reverse back out of it. So I know that on this particular drill, up around the 10 or 11 mark is good for my arm strength. But on your drill, it may be different. Each drill has different numbers on there. A number 10 on my drill is going to be totally different to you on your drill. So I can't just say use number 10. You'll have to adjust it until it matches your arm strength. You'll know because it will start to actually twist your arms a little bit when it gets to the higher levels. And that's where you know, yeah, that I'm comfortable with that. I'm going to leave it at that level. So let's have a look if we increase that on this particular drill to 11 and see what it's like digging. And I can see it's doing really well. It's not stopping, but I'm not getting any jarring on my arm, so it's great. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the technique that I'm using. It's very important that you just don't press down hard on the soil and drill down, because what will happen is the power planter will spiral into the ground and will just keep going until it can't go any further. And you don't want to do that because we want to dig the soil over. So the technique you need to use is a dabbing action. So I'm just going to demonstrate that, and you'll find that this works very effectively. And you can see that my position here is I'm on my knees, and so I'm very well balanced. It's very important that you aren't like kind of squatting and going to be falling off to one side. You want to be very stable when you're using the power planter. Now you can see I'm starting to dig this level. I've got down to about this deep. This ground here has got quite a bit of gravel and clay and everything in it, but it's going really well. So we're going to break that up a bit more, and if I wanted to go deeper, I'll just press lightly down as I'm going. Now you'll notice that even though the power planter is only, in this case, 75 mils wide on this particular model, I'm able to dig a hole that's larger than that. You don't need a larger power planter in order to be able to put plants in like these, which are a 200 mil or an 8-inch size pot. You just drill a cluster of holes, and then with the power planter spinning, you move it around sideways to break it all up. It'll be broken up so soft that you'll be able to use your hands just to scoop out the soil, and then you can put your plant in. Now, the normal rules of gardening still apply. You can't just go and put plants in solid clay and expect them to grow. You still need to add your compost and your manure and your gypsum to break it up. So you can't just use the power planter and say that it'll do everything. Use it as a tool to break up the ground. It's just a much easier way than using, say, mattocks like we have done in the past. Now, as a general guide, you want to have your hole is going to be about twice the size of the pot you're putting in. And I recommend digging deeper as well, so the roots can really get out into that soil. Now, here's another note. If you do have good arm strength, you can use the drill in drill mode rather than screwdriver, but I'm warning you that these drills nowadays, particularly the one that I'm holding, is very powerful. And so you will find that it will twist your arms when you're doing that. So a word of caution with that. You will know if you have enough arm strength to be able to do that. But as a general recommendation, I would say leave it on screwdriver mode, particularly if you have weaker arms and you need to protect those. All right, so that's the main things that I wanted to say about this. If you have any questions, you can contact us on our website via the chat button or via an email, send to sales@aussiegardener.com.au, or you can call our phone number 1800 222 800 and we'll be there to look after you. All right, thank you for watching this video and I hope you really enjoy using your power planters.